There's a reputation that follows certain machines, a reputation carved not by numbers on a spec sheet, but by the living, breathing experience of ownership. On paper, they promise exhilaration and undeniable engineering prowess, yet the truth I've learned over 15 years in this business is far more complex. Some bikes reward you with goosebumps, only to demand an equal measure of your wallet in return. There's a pattern to these machines. They lure you with performance, charisma, and heritage, but they challenge your patience, your maintenance budget, and your long-term peace of mind. Today, we're going to uncover the 10 Yamaha motorcycles that can drain your wallet fast, not because they are fundamentally bad, but because the reality of owning them is often more expensive than enthusiasts expect. If you plan to buy one of these, knowing what comes next isn't optional, it's essential. Stay with me till the end to understand what to watch out for before you make that purchase. And if you value honest insight over hype, make sure you're subscribed to Rider Archive, where experience meets clarity. Number 1. Yamaha YZF-R1, one of the most iconic litter-class sport bikes ever built, a machine that shaped superbike culture and continues to set benchmarks for performance. But beneath that glorious engine and razor-sharp chassis lies a harsh truth for owners. The cost of keeping this bike in peak condition can be shockingly high. Tires that grip its power demand premium price tags, and brake pads are devoured with enthusiastic riding. Then there's the regular maintenance, fluid changes, valve adjustments, and occasional ECU updates that, on a performance bike like this, are not inexpensive. If you track the R1, expect to replace consumables far more often than with a standard street bike. Every acceleration, every lean angle, every aggressive shift is money spent. Many owners find themselves caught between the passion of riding and the reality that this machine doesn't give up its thrills without a cost that tightens your grip on the throttle just as much as the bike itself. And that's before we even talk about insurance premiums that reflect its high-performance pedigree, creating another silent drain on your budget that most buyers overlook at first. Number 2. Yamaha MT-10. The Yamaha MT-10 is a naked bike with the heart of a superbike, borrowing the R1's engine and stuffing it into a more upright, street-oriented chassis. This sounds perfect on paper, and riders often fall in love with its torque, aggression, and raw character. What they discover later, sometimes painfully, is that the MT-10's spirited nature also accelerates wear and tear. The torque that makes city rides thrilling also chews through rear tires faster than many expect, and the suspension components, while adjustable, require frequent service if ridden hard. Furthermore, this bike's complexity means that even seemingly simple repairs can run into labor costs that feel out of proportion for a naked platform. Riders who lean into its performance quickly realize that this is not a low-maintenance cruiser. It's a serious machine that responds to aggression with increased servicing needs. And when performance parts are thrown into the mix, costs grow exponentially, leaving some owners wondering if the thrill was worth the price they now pay long after the purchase. Number 3. Yamaha VMAX. The Yamaha VMAX is a legend, a muscle bike with supercar acceleration and an imposing presence that's hard to ignore, yet that same brute strength comes with maintenance demands that often surprise new owners. The VMAX's unique powertrain and drivetrain components aren't as common as those on more mainstream motorcycles, which means parts can be costly and sometimes hard to source. When you combine that with a thirsty appetite for high-octane fuel and a clutch system that feels demanding under spirited riding, the overall cost of ownership climbs much faster than expected. Many enthusiasts fall in love with the VMAX's torque and character only to later find themselves budgeting for expensive belt or chain servicing, brake overhauls, and fuel system maintenance that over time adds up significantly. This bike makes a statement every time it fires up, but it also makes a statement every time you open your wallet to keep it running the way it deserves to be ridden, which is often at its aggressive best. Number 4. Yamaha FJR 1300. The Yamaha FJR 1300 sits comfortably in the sport touring category, blending long-distance capability with sporty performance. It attracts riders who want miles of open road without sacrificing speed or handling, but that dual personality comes at a cost. Its advanced electronics suite, including cruise control, adjustable suspension, and traction control, is exceptional for touring comfort, yet these systems are complex, and repairs or diagnostics are never inexpensive. Touring bikes are already heavier and more demanding on brakes and tires than standard street bikes, and the FJR 1300 is no exception, often going through high-end touring tires more quickly due to its weight and power. Add in routine valve checks on its multi-cylinder engine, intervals that are frequent compared to simpler platforms, and the annual bill can climb faster than many riders anticipate. Owning an FJR 1300 can be deeply rewarding if you respect its engineering, but that respect also means investing in its upkeep relentlessly, turning ownership into a long-term financial commitment rather than a casual weekend escape. Number 5. Yamaha Tenere 700. The Yamaha Tenere 700 made its name as an affordable, capable middleweight adventure bike, a machine built to roam continents and tackle dirt trails. Yet this bike's dual-purpose nature hides a subtle drain on wallets that many riders only notice after extended ownership. Adventure riding invites exploration off pavement, which inevitably leads to components wearing faster than on purely street motorcycles. Brake pads, sprockets, chains, and tires designed for mixed terrain are often replaced at rates that catch riders off guard. The Tenere's suspension, while excellent for off-road control, benefits from aftermarket upgrades for aggressive riding, pushing owners toward additional expenses. Then there's the reality of long-distance travel, gear, maintenance kits, and upgrades to protect skid plates and other vulnerable parts. While passionate Tenere owners view these costs as part of the adventure narrative, the truth remains, this motorcycle doesn't operate on a shoestring, and its capability quietly demands a financial commitment that can stretch even seasoned riders. And as we move to the next model, the pattern repeats in ways that only deeper experience reveals. Number 6. Yamaha YZF R6. The Yamaha R6 has always been a rider's machine, razor-focused, high-revving, and unapologetically demanding. For many, it represents the purest form of middleweight performance, but ownership tells a more expensive story. This engine lives high in the rev range, and riding it the way it's meant to be ridden accelerates wear on internals, clutches, and driveline components. Tires disappear quickly, especially if the bike ever sees track time, which many R6 owners eventually attempt. Parts availability has also become more complicated, since the R6 moved away from regular street production, pushing prices upward for OEM components. Insurance premiums often surprise younger buyers, and valve clearance checks are neither cheap nor optional if you want longevity. The R6 rewards commitment and precision, but it punishes neglect with expensive consequences. It's a machine that tests not just riding skill, but financial discipline, and once you're invested, stepping away isn't as simple as it first appears. Number 7. Yamaha XSR 900 blends retro styling with modern performance, drawing riders who want character without sacrificing speed. Underneath its timeless design sits a potent CP3 engine, thrilling, torquey, and addictive. That same engine, however, encourages aggressive riding that leads to faster than expected maintenance cycles. Rear tires wear rapidly, chains stretch sooner, and suspension components demand attention if the bike is pushed hard. Many owners quickly find themselves upgrading brakes, suspension, or exhaust systems to better match the engine's personality, and those optional upgrades often become essential. Electronics are advanced, but when sensors or ride-by-wire components fail, repairs are rarely inexpensive. The XSR 900 isn't draining wallets through catastrophic failure, it does it through temptation. It quietly convinces you to spend more to unlock what it promises visually, and before long, ownership becomes a continuous investment rather than a finished purchase, leading directly into the next costly temptation Yamaha offers. Number 8. Yamaha Tracer 9 GT. The Tracer 9 GT positions itself as a do-it-all machine, sporty enough for spirited rides, comfortable enough for touring. That versatility is precisely where costs begin to stack up. Electronic suspension, quick shifters, advanced traction systems, and touring-focused electronics elevate the riding experience, but they also elevate service complexity. When these systems require calibration or repair, dealership labor becomes unavoidable. The CP3 engine delivers strong mid-range torque, which adds stress to consumables like chains, sprockets, and tires over long distances. Riders who use the Tracer as intended, long miles, loaded luggage, varying road conditions, often find brake systems and suspension components needing attention earlier than expected. This bike doesn't fail dramatically. It slowly accumulates service costs through constant use. It's a machine that rewards mileage, but every mile has a price, and many owners don't realize how quickly that price adds up until they're already committed. Number 9. Yamaha Super Tenere 1200. The Super Tenere 1200 was built for endurance, stability, and serious adventure touring. It carries Yamaha's reputation for reliability, but reliability does not mean inexpensive ownership. This is a heavy, shaft-driven motorcycle with complex electronics and a large displacement engine, all elements that increase service costs. Shaft drive maintenance may be less frequent, but when it's required, it isn't cheap. The bike's weight accelerates brake and tire wear, especially under full load with luggage and a passenger. Adventure riders often push this machine into environments that demand frequent inspections, seal replacements, and suspension servicing. Add to that the cost of crash protection, panniers, and upgrades most owners consider mandatory, and the total investment grows far beyond the purchase price. The Super Tenere is built to go anywhere, but going everywhere consistently means paying to keep it capable, a reality many buyers underestimate until the miles start piling on. Number 10. Yamaha R7. The Yamaha R7 arrived with massive expectations, a lightweight sport bike with modern styling and a proven parallel twin engine. While it's more accessible than Yamaha's older supersports, it still has its own financial traps. Many riders quickly discover that to achieve the sharp handling and braking they expect from a sport bike, upgrades become necessary. Suspension improvements, brake enhancements, and performance accessories add up quickly. The engine is reliable, but spirited riding accelerates wear on clutches and driveline components faster than commuter-focused owners anticipate. Insurance costs can still surprise first-time sport bike buyers, and resale values fluctuate sharply depending on modifications. The R7 doesn't drain wallets through forced repairs. It drains them through refinement. It invites owners to spend continuously to transform it into the bike they imagined at purchase, and that transformation rarely comes cheap.
And I call back. Niggas tryna flex. Tell me that I'm lost, located in the back though. Don't even wanna check.
Experience has taught me one consistent lesson in this industry. The real cost of a motorcycle is never just the price tag. Yamaha builds incredible machines, engineered with performance, innovation, and emotion at their core. But some of those machines demand more from their owners than others, not just in skill, but in financial commitment. These bikes aren't mistakes, and they aren't failures. They're simply honest about what they require to be enjoyed properly. If you go in prepared, they can be deeply rewarding. If you don't, they can quietly become a burden. That's why knowledge matters more than excitement when choosing your next motorcycle. If this breakdown helped you see ownership more clearly, support Rider Archive by subscribing. It tells the platform you value experience over marketing. Drop a comment if you've owned any of these bikes, because real-world stories help every rider make better decisions. Until next time, ride informed, not impulsive.
And I